Hey everybody, it's me, Zach. This is Judy, and welcome back to our channel. Hey everybody, it's me, Zach, and I am back again. Well, I'm back for the first time with a review recap of TLC's new maybe hit show. I don't know, we'll see after this week. The 1,000 Pound Best Friends, or for short, I'm gonna say the 1,000 Pound Besties. Although I think maybe that's all the same syllables, so maybe it's not shorter. Maybe I just like the 1,000 Pound Besties better. But we're back. This is a new show on TLC. If y'all didn't catch it already, I did do like a little preview. I don't know. I wouldn't call it a preview. So basically, I already did a whole video where I covered basically the trailer for this show and then also an episode of a Discovery Plus series called Too Large that starred Megan and Vanessa. Well, the one episode starred Megan and Vanessa, and based off of that, they're like, let's give these girls a show. So now they have their own show, and you can go check out that whole video if you kind of want like my insight onto who these girls are, what's going on, what we can expect. And I probably will try not to go too in-depth on that when we're talking about this episode, although some things might come up. So it might just be better to go check that out. I'll leave it in a pinned comment down below. I will say that preview video did just this past weekend get a copyright claim or something on it. Not a strike, like my channel is doing fine, but basically TLC was like, oh, you used our clips, we're gonna claim the AdSense from this. So I actually went and cut some stuff out of that video so that it could remain up on my channel. Because of that, I feel like I just want to give you a little bit of warning that like if there seems to be something missing in this video, like a clip for instance, it might be because TLC was like, no, you can't use that. Which I do remember when I first started making 1,000 Pound Sister content here on YouTube when I first started covering the show. I tried to use clips and they were very much not about it. Or I could only use them in a very limiting way. But as the show went on, TLC seemed to care a little less with each episode. So I don't know, we'll kind of see what TLC will let me do. This is a whole lot different than when like Chantal or Amberlynn has like copyright struck me, like tried to take my channel down for using their content, because TLC is like a huge corporation and whoever, whatever. I'd rather just try to find ways to incorporate clips without them giving me a hard time about it. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? You feel me now, Mr. Krabs? So yeah, anyways, the too long didn't watch of the episode preview thing that I did was that this show is going to follow Megan and Vanessa, who were on this show called Too Large, and it's also bringing in their friends Tina and Ashley, who we will get to know in this first episode. So with all of that being said, why don't we just jump into the episode? And I have to say, I'm very grateful that we will still get weird pronunciations of words and things like that. Although this clip seemed really out of place, the whole show did start off with them talking about this kombucha.
Kombucha. What is that? Has that got vinegar in it?
Which honestly doesn't feel that far away from kombucha. What do you know about that kombucha? And then they basically go into just like the trailer again that I already reacted to, which I actually think is why it ended up getting claimed in my original video, because my original video like pretty much played the whole trailer, which is now pretty much entirely in this first episode. So I think that when this episode was getting ready to come out, TLC got me, gal. But the actual like first scene that we see is Megan and Vanessa going, I think, underwear shopping, or maybe just clothing shopping in general, because Megan does try on a pair of pants at some point. But y'all, they said we're just gonna do just some casual fun things together on this show today.
Look at this.
Do they got a 4X or a 5X?
I gotta floss my teeth with that. I feel like I got two asses.
One in the front, one in the back.
And look at this. Ugh.
That's back fat Betty. Leave her alone. I've always wanted to wear a string bikini.
Really?
Oh, hold on.
Oh my God. You gonna wear this?
I would love to. I want to show this off.
You kind of surprised me there. I've just never seen nothing that big before.
Y'all, I feel like TLC said, if y'all enjoyed Megan peeing in the first minute of the Too Large show, if you enjoyed that, then you're gonna enjoy seeing Vanessa in a two-piece bikini and Megan fighting with Back Fat Betty. But in all seriousness, they use this to like set up the scene for how they've been friends for so long. In case you didn't see it in the original episode, you're gonna know now that they've been friends for a long time. And Vanessa explains that she's always kind of been like low class, like in poverty growing up. She's in poverty now. In the episode of Too Large, she talked about having to go to the food pantry to eat food and prepare meals for her family. And she explains Megan as being a little bit more hoity-toity, but they've been friends because basically Megan came and consoled her after Vanessa was being bullied for being fat. So I feel like that scene has given us some just classic, like, good old laughs. Like, a lot about this episode took me back to, like, the original very first season of 1,000 Pound Sisters, where everything felt a little bit more lighthearted, you know? Like, them shopping for underwear and shit like that, like, that was just, it was just a good time. It was just fun. So then they take us to the part of the episode where we really, like, get to know Vanessa, and they really introduce us in depth to Vanessa. And some of it is a little bit of a repeat from the Too Large episode, so we won't spend too much time on that. But, you know, we see her struggling to get her clothes on, big My 600 Pound Life energy. And the one thing I feel like they did introduce to us in this episode that we didn't get from the episode of Too Large is that she lives with her sister Jackie. We did meet her two kids in the episode of Too Large, but they never really referenced Jackie or the fact that they were living with Jackie or anything like that. And they have this scene where Vanessa, Jackie, and the kids are in the car going to go get food, and it's just all kind of a lot to unpack, to be honest with you, because they're having a conversation about what they should get and what kind of food they're hungry for and what they might want to eat. Everybody but Vanessa's like, let's get fast food. I want a burger, fries, mozzarella sticks, whoever, whatever. And Vanessa's like, y'all are making it so hard for me. Y'all are making it so hard for me. And her son Werner is like, girl, if you want to get a salad, you can get a salad. You don't have to get this food just because we're getting it, which, like, T, you sure don't. You surely don't. But Jackie is actually, I think, like, the worst influence here, because Jackie's like, no, you're not gonna do that. We ate salads yesterday. We need good food today. Like, you're not gonna do all of this.
Yeah, but we ate salads yesterday. Let's go eat some good food today.
And according to Vanessa, Jackie likes to sabotage her.
My sister Jackie is a little bitty old skinny stick figure and can eat what she wants, how she wants, when she wants. She don't gain a pound, nothing. It's always been hard to me to do a diet because I do have my sister that likes to sabotage.
Which I do think is interesting because, like, to some extent, yeah, we just saw Jackie talk her out of getting a salad, okay? We just saw Jackie talk her into eating whatever she wants to eat. But also, Vanessa girl, you're the one driving this van, you're the one in the drive-thru at the fast food establishment, and you're the one making the order. So, like, it's not like Jackie was sitting there in the passenger seat with a gun to your head, girl. Like, that's not what was happening there. I mean, she certainly wasn't encouraging you to not do that, but, like, you could have made the decision. You are your own person. And y'all, Vanessa talks about how food is her lover, and it's clear just watching her eat a fucking burger.
Yeah, that's the good
That
stuff.
is so good. Food has always been a very good companion for me. Food is my lover and the best lover.
One of the things that I think we're going to continue seeing throughout this season and or show is Vanessa's relationship with her oldest son, Jacob, and she seems to think that Jacob has some health issues. And during this scene, Jacob talks about his own relationship with food. He talks about how, like, he understands why his mom is so stuck on emotionally eating because he also experiences that. So I think it's going to be an interesting dynamic between the two of them throughout the show, and also just like, I don't know, I feel like for me personally, but also like a lot of folks, like I think a lot of what we learn about food, we learn through our parents, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm sure that is difficult for him to navigate. But yeah, also I think the real problem in this family is potentially going to be Jackie, because Jackie has a lot of real intense thoughts and feelings about Vanessa when it comes to Vanessa dieting.
I mean, I like to see you happy. What, you gotta walk around and be a grouchy bitch all day long because you don't get to eat no more? What kind of life is that? Vanessa becomes a complete bitch when she's dieting.
Like, Jackie, that's really not helpful. That's really not helpful whatsoever, girl. Like, Jackie. So then our next little moment situation type of deal is with Megan and her fiance, John. They're in bed together, and we're just getting a little more in-depth knowledge about what's going on in Megan's life. She did get gastric bypass surgery in the Too Large episode, so she has been living her life since then. Sounds like she's lost about 150 pounds since that episode, or since bariatric surgery. I'm not exactly sure when the timeline for that is, but she says she's lost 150 pounds. She talks about still being in a lot of pain and how she still has a lot of work to do. And oh yeah, by the way, which I don't think this was the case in the Too Large episode, or maybe I just don't remember clearly, but by the way, she lives in the basement of her friend Tina's house. And Tina has 4 kids plus her husband, so I think there's 8 of them in this house altogether, which sounds like a nightmare to me personally. I don't know that I would want to be in that kind of living situation, but it sounds like Megan and John are kind of like in a financial space, and so they're just very grateful to be in this space with Tina, although they, I think, do, rightfully so, want to get out. So this is our first little introduction to Tina, and we find out that she's known Megan and Vanessa for something like 27 years. It sounds like they all went to school together, even Ashley, who we'll meet later. It sounds like they all met each other in like grade school, high school. And yeah, we basically just find out that Megan's worried that she's kind of just been stalling, not doing a whole lot, and she talks about how she's gonna have to go see Dr. Proctor soon, and she doesn't think she's made a lot of progress. And that's kind of like a theme throughout this episode. Like, she brings it up multiple different times at different points during this episode. I will probably just talk about it again once she actually goes to Dr. Proctor's office to do the weigh-in. But part of what she wanted to do more of was workout, so she set up this little workout situation type of deal with Vanessa, which honestly I'm sure is just like TLC saying, hey, we need y'all to go do something like this together. But it was giving me big vibes of the early seasons and episodes of 1000 Pound Sisters, because they would always make Amy and Tammy try these like goofy like as seen on TV exercise workout equipment things. Like there was that image of Amy or Tammy, I can't remember which one, going like this with their shake weight. I don't know why I felt the need to make this gesture right now on camera, but here we are and I'm still doing it. So yeah, they use this like weighted hula hoop thing, and y'all, these ladies are good with balls.
Wait to stick your balls in.
Oh, goody, goody, goody. Let's get the balls going.
You're practicing for the strip pole.
No, when you strip on a strip pole, you doing this.
See, that's how you just pretend like you're on a strip. And look! All you had to do was imagine
Stop it! It only went because I spun it!
I do appreciate just the goofiness of it, but on top of the goofiness, this also gives our first peek into seeing Vanessa kind of like rage. I feel like they're setting up, and I don't want to compare too much to the 1000 Pound Sisters, but also it's like, I feel like natural to try to compare the two, because they both have 1000 pounds in the titles of their shows. But I feel like they're trying to give us a peek into Vanessa potentially raging a lot like Tammy does on 1000 Pound Best Sisters. Because for whatever reason, Vanessa loses it.
This would be, hold on. Shut the up for a goddamn second. If you put this on a skinny bitch, okay, this is right up under my goddamn My hips are down here.
I think for some people, this, like, reaction might feel a little bit irrational. Like, just, like, losing it over this hula hoop thing. But I also think that, coming from me, somebody who generally tries to, like, be understanding, figure out where people might be coming from, especially for this woman that, like, outside of the one episode of this TV show, I don't really have a lot of context for her, right? It's also very much different than, like, the 1,000 Pound Sisters, where I'd been following Amy and Tammy on social media for years before they ever got the TV show. I think if I'm trying to, like, give the best assumptions to what maybe Vanessa is experiencing here, like, it must be frustrating to be told to, like, put this weird, silly gadget on, have it not work very well, struggle to do it, feel pain and feel, like, out of breath and things like that because you're out of shape and you're not in your best health. Like, that's probably all very frustrating to experience, and it's also probably, like, one of the very first things they filmed for this show. So she must also be thinking, like, wow, this is embarrassing. Like, I just literally did all of this on TV, and all these people are gonna see me. So I don't know, like, me trying to assume the best, give the best possible assumptions to what Vanessa might be experiencing, feeling, etc. That's kind of like what I would imagine is going through her mind. But one thing that didn't set right with me, or, like, had me feeling frustrated on Vanessa's behalf, is that Megan says she's so proud of Vanessa, and I think that she genuinely is, and what made me upset was Vanessa's response to that, which was like, how are you so proud of me when I failed? And honestly, I wish she would just understand that, like, failure takes courage. Getting up and doing something that you might fail takes way more courage than getting up and doing something that you know you're going to be successful at no matter what. And so I wish she could see that just, like, trying is an act of courage, trying. It's way braver to try something you think you might fail than it is to just, like, do something that you know you're gonna do well at regardless. So I hope that she doesn't let that kind of mindset bog her down, because as she goes through this process, I'm sure she's gonna fail more. I'm sure she is. And when they're having this conversation, we also find out that, like, after the Too Large episode aired, or was filmed, I guess is more important, after it was filmed, like, so many things happened in Vanessa's life. She lost her father, she was hospitalized for a while because she found out that she had skin cancer, and so, like, that's a lot of, like, trauma to go through and experience, and I hope that she understands that. Like, she's made it through so much. And also, I guess to some extent it makes sense that maybe losing weight wasn't her first priority during that time. But hopefully she can use some of those things as motivation to be like, hey, like, I've made it through a lot, I can make it through worse. Overall, though, there seems to be some tension brewing between Vanessa and Megan that I feel like we'll see for the duration of the whole season. Because it seems like Vanessa's a little bit, like, jealous that Megan was able to do everything so easily and quickly.
Megan is always telling me that me and her are the same, we're on the same page, and that's just not true. And I'm jealous of the fact that she did it. I wish she would have up. I wish she could have just not did it so well and so quick and made it look so easy. It ain't that easy.
And honestly, what I have to say about that is that there is a Theodore Roosevelt quote that's like, comparison is the thief of joy. And I think it's very true in so many ways, like when we compare ourselves to others, because, you know, I think Vanessa's viewing this as like, we're on the same page, we are experiencing the same issues, whoever, whatever. But the reality is, well, I kind of think both of them say that to some extent, because Megan full on flat out says, like, you know, we're both on this journey, we're both on this path. And Vanessa's like, well, no, we're not, because you're so far ahead of me. You did all this stuff already. You've accomplished so many things. And it's like, yeah, they're on similar paths, but they're each taking their own path because they're their own individuals. They have their own experiences. It's clear in just the way that Vanessa talked about their upbringing and stuff that, like, Megan had more. Like, Vanessa has lived a life in poverty. I mean, literally in the Too Large episode, she had to like make her meals from stuff she got at the food pantry. Like, there's so many other things that like are a factor in how she is or isn't able to do the things that Megan is able to do. And I wish she would like rationalize that a little bit more. I wish they both would, because I think that is kind of sometimes what Vanessa is trying to communicate to Megan, but also at the same time, Vanessa's like, it's not fair that she can do all of these things, which, like, maybe it isn't. Like, you know, Megan's in a much different place, doesn't have kids, has a fiance. Like, she only has to worry about herself and her fiance, and Vanessa has children as a responsibility. She lives with her sister, who's not supportive. Like, the reality is yes, they're on a similar path, but not the same path. I also do think it takes a little bit away from Megan, who is still clearly, obviously, as we see in this episode, working on her own journey and working on figuring out her own problems, her own issues, and things like that. And so I hope that, you know, they can come together and be a little bit more supportive of one another in like their own ways and acknowledge that they're both going through difficult things just in like a different way. And that doesn't like negate either one of their experiences. It also very much reminds me about like, you know, in the 1,000 Pound Sisters, everybody was always so worried about what everybody else is doing. And it's kind of like, if y'all would just focus on yourself, like certainly be supportive of one another. But if you really just like focused on what you needed to do for yourself, I feel like everybody would be in a better place. So Tina and Megan have their friends over for a girls' night, and we learn even a little bit more about Tina. She shares her weight with us, which I think is 325, and she discusses how like weight issues are keeping her from doing the things she wants to do with like her husband and her children. So that seems to be like her motivation of like, if I want to have the life I want to have with my family, I need to do something about this, because it's like hard to get around, hard to do stuff with them. And Vanessa shows up to the house, and I'm literally saying a prayer for this dress shirt situation type of deal as she goes up those stairs.
Oh, I'm so glad you came, girl.
Honey, I ain't gonna miss this.
Look at
We gotta
you.
have our girls. That's why we all had to.
We also get to meet Ashley during this scene. She's 36. She introduces herself as single and ready to mingle. And we find out she met Vanessa through school, and that she actually has had gastric bypass. Well, was it gastric bypass? I think she talked about like a bariatric sleeve. And so she had that and actually has gained weight back after getting it. So that's kind of like her story, and it seems like her motivation in the show is just to like, I don't know, maybe find a man. We didn't get to know her like super in depth, and we really didn't get to know Tina really in depth either. So I still feel like this show, despite it being about the friends as a whole, seems primarily focused on Megan and Vanessa, and then I don't know, at least right now after episode 1, Tina and Ashley kind of seem like side characters, supporting characters. Ashley also says this lovely thing about friendship.
I need to have someone that I'm going to have a whole meal with, and after we both agree that we're going to get dessert. If we can't get dessert, then I can't be friends with you.
And then we get into a conversation between the girls about drinking, and specifically Vanessa just talking a lot about sexy times, about sex. She talks about sex.
I only drink for one reason: to go home with a man. I'm drinking so that when we get in the bedroom and the lights are off, I can say, let's ride.
I'm afraid of smothering them.
I don't care. I'm more like, you down there? All right, let's go. If a man tells me, babe, run it, I'm doing it. Now, the thing is if the man has the proper equipment, though. Because us ladies, we ain't even trying to be funny. Some men ain't got the equipment to ride.
Which I will say, on the episode of Too Large, they do give like a big girl sex tutorial or something like that. I can't remember exactly what they called it, but I have to agree with Ashley. Like, Listening to Vanessa talk about men sounds like I'm listening to like a porno or something. She is just so wild. I love it. I'm not mad about it. I love that for her. But it is just so wild the way that she talks about sleeping with men. So Vanessa orders a whole bunch of like pizza and Italian food for the group, and she basically pulls a classic, I'm gonna start my diet on a Monday. She even also says at some point that like diets are better started on even days or something like that, which is something I'd never heard of before. But I think we've all heard, especially in this quarter of the internet, the people who are like, oh, I'm gonna start on Monday, I'm gonna start on Monday. Maybe you've even been in that space before. I know I have. So very, very fascinating. And also gotta say, I'm on the same page as Megan, who essentially says like, listen, literally the other day you were having a breakdown, a full-on meltdown over this hula hoop, and now you're out here just like doing nothing about it, just eating whatever you want to eat. But listen, can you blame Vanessa? The food made her wet.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. Do you have any napkins? Because I think I just got wet.
I can't believe I just said that out loud. I can't believe I just said that out loud. But overall, I really appreciate the dynamic of this group of women. While they're all together having this meal, this girls' night, they really just talk about like the experiences that they all have as plus size women, and also the struggles they have. And they also end the scene with them like talking about, we're going to support each other. We're going to help each other out. We're going to lift each other up. And I appreciate that because it feels like such a different dynamic than what we got from the 1,000 Pound Sisters. I mean, even from the beginning, like, the support was always very one-sided. The support was always coming from Tammy's siblings as opposed to Tammy giving anybody else support. And here it feels like all the people involved actually genuinely do want to help each other. Like, it seems like even if one of them is not doing well, that they genuinely will want to work to support one of the others. Then we get a brief little scene of Megan and Tina going through some of Megan's old like fat clothes. We get to see what the living situation looks like in the basement of Tina's home where Megan and John are staying. And it looks like a little bit of a hoarder type situation type of deal, which like, I don't know what her situation was because I feel like she did have an apartment or something in the Too Large episode. So I don't know if they had to like suddenly move and they're just afraid to throw things away for when they might need it once they get their own place. But it looked like a lot of stuff shoved into a tiny little basement space. But the one thing that really stuck out to me during this scene is that they tried on the dress that Megan was wearing throughout a lot of the Too Large episode, and literally both of them fit in it. And so I think Tina's point was like, girl, look, like literally two of us could fit in here. Like, you have lost a significant amount of weight. You've made a lot of progress. Like, I know you're worried about going and seeing Dr. Proctor, like you haven't done enough, but also like, look at what you've done so far. Like, you can do this. The next scene is between Vanessa and her son Jacob, and for whatever reason, I don't know, it's focused around this van situation type of deal. She lets us know that her gas gauge on her van isn't working very well, but she can't afford to like really invest in getting it fixed because she also knows she's gonna have to invest in like taking care of her health. She's getting ready to go see Dr. Proctor. So they show Jacob and Vanessa pushing this van, and Vanessa has a wardrobe malfunction.
All right, come on, push. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I lost my pants. Stop it, Jay.
I can't stop it, Mom. It's a car.
But also, I would love to talk a little bit more about these pants or shorts, because it looks like, if it's just me, I don't know, I'm gonna put the picture right here and you can tell me, but it looks like she's wearing a t-shirt as a pair of shorts. Like, what is that hole? What is that hole? What is that hole? So Jacob helps carry up all the groceries and stuff from their shopping trip, and Vanessa wants to have a conversation with him about his health because he is huffing and puffing. And I'm like, well, girl, part of that might be because you just had him push your van and then carry all those groceries. I mean, I know where you're coming from, but girl, you did just have him push your van and carry all your groceries to the door. So, like, I don't know. It seems like he could just be, working hard. Some aspects of her, like, having this conversation with Jacob about his health is giving me some Tammy Slayton worried about everybody else's health vibes when, like, she should really just be worried about hers. But it also seems like Vanessa sees Jacob's weight as some kind of, like, failure on her part, which, I don't know, like I said earlier, I think a lot of us learn about food and eat food because that's how our parents ate food or made food, and we learn about nutrition and things from our parents, and a lot of, like, bad behaviors, or I don't want to say bad behaviors, but a lot of our eating behaviors are passed down through what we learn from our parents. So she has a conversation with Jacob to try to talk him into going to see Dr. Proctor with her and also, like, getting weighed in and stuff like that. Which, I don't know, especially following the conversation last week about Amy and Michael taking their baby to see a dietitian. I feel like some people are probably maybe a little bit triggered by the concept of, like, her pressuring him to go see a weight loss doctor. I'm not exactly sure what kind of age he is or how old he is, but, I think also a lot of these conversations with parents are things that lead to us having disordered eating and, like having complexes surrounding, like, our food, our diet, our bodies. And so I could see, like, people potentially feeling some type of way that Vanessa is, like, pressuring him to go participate in this, when I think just in reality, maybe something that would be better is just, like, for them together to learn more about nutrition and how to get the nutrients you need to keep on going. But either way, he agrees to go with them. And then our final scene is them arriving at Dr. Proctor's office, and Megan's a little nervous because Dr. Proctor is fine.
I don't know to be nervous because he's so fine, and I'm nervous because he looks good, or if I'm nervous because of the scale.
To the extent that she's talking about getting his voice recorded for her fridge to, like, play whenever she goes to eat food in the fridge and have him remind her not to eat bad food. But I'm with Vanessa. I think she's got an ulterior motive.
I thought about asking Dr. Proctor to record his voice for me so I can put it on my refrigerator anytime I open the refrigerator up.
Record his voice for you so you can to it every night.
Anyways, I'm so glad that we can sit here and have this moment together about how fine Dr. Proctor is, because, I mean, have y'all seen him? Listen, I am so glad to not be alone and thirsting for Dr. Proctor over here, okay? I'm glad we're not alone. I'm glad we can come here on the safety of my channel and we can collectively, as a whole, thirst over Daddy Proctor. But Megan does weigh in. I believe she's at 329 pounds, which they say essentially means she's lost nothing since the, 6 months before that she had previously been at Dr. Proctor's office. And she comes up with, a lot of things that she thinks could be excuses, which honestly sound like a lot of the things that I hear people in, the weight loss community or the weight loss journey community talk about, which is oh, I didn't get enough protein, I didn't drink enough fluids, I'm just not exercising enough. And Dr. Proctor is pretty quick to be I think you're just trying to avoid me being upset with you. It feels like you're just making some excuses when reality is you just need to do better because, you can lose everything that you've gained so far. It can all be undone in reverse. And Megan gets pretty emotional about that because she feels like she worked so hard, which she did, to get to where she is now, that she doesn't want to lose everything that she has worked so hard for. And honestly, that was the end of the episode. It felt like a little bit of a weird end because I feel like it didn't make sense that we didn't see Vanessa talk to Dr. Proctor. And it also seemed weird because, I don't know, I guess that's supposed to be the cliffhanger, is that we don't know what happened with Vanessa. So we're going to come back next week and watch to see what happened with Vanessa. But I feel like the cliffhangers for 1,000 Pound Sisters were always way more, I don't know, cliffhangery. Is that a word? I don't know. I just felt like it was a very anticlimactic end. It was she weighed in, she didn't do as good as she thought she did, which was what she's been saying the whole episode, so There you go. I don't know. The ending fell a little flat for me, but overall I think I enjoyed the episode and I'm looking forward to seeing some more, you know, and it's nice to have something that feels a little bit lighter than what the past like half of season of 1,000 Pound Sisters has been. I mean, things were getting so dark with Tammy that like sometimes it was difficult to want to go watch the show because things were just so rough. But in this case, we got to see lots of fun, goofy things between the friends. And we even got to see a little bit of a temper tantrum, a tincture tantrum. I forget now how Amy says that. But we got to see a little bit of that from Vanessa. So, you know, I'm intrigued. I'll watch more. But I do want to know what you guys are thinking. Did you like it? Did you enjoy it? Who's your favorite so far? Who are you enjoying watching? I don't know. I would just like to know what your thoughts are. If you want me to keep watching and reacting and recapping and whoever, whatever, let me know that too, because I want to know what y'all think. I need to know. This is the first episode. This is setting the pace for the whole season. So I'm curious. Anyways, I think that's all I have for you today, so I hope you all enjoyed this video. If it's your first time on my channel, consider subscribing down below and hitting the bell button so you get notifications every single time I post a new video. Make sure to leave me a comment, hit like, and click share. Share it with all of your friends who love the 1,000 Pound Besties. Follow me on social media, check out my merch, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!